All right, here is my Saturn RD365XL. Sort of first impressions video. Got this in the mail just the other day and blew it up. Got this from boatstogo.com, which I believe is Saturn's sort of overstock website. They have clearance boats there. Really good deals on various different kinds of boats. This is a 12-foot boat. It's approximately 5 feet wide, and I'm really impressed with it so far. I got the extra large frame. This boat was $800. The frame was $300, and the shipping on this frame was I believe $59. Shipping on the boat was $99. So out the door with shipping and everything, I was at around $1,300. One of the things that I was concerned with getting this boat is and this frame was that the frame does not come with an anchor system. And the NRS frames and NRS systems, sort of, you can build it a la carte, and it's super badass. It's kind of the industry standard for guys that like to fish out of rafts. Is really expensive and way outside of my price point. But I'm also somewhat of a hillbilly engineer, and I know how to fabricate. I know how to think outside of the box. And so the first thing I did was create this davit arm to establish my anchor pulley system. And so this davit arm is actually 1.5 inch aluminum that I had laying around. This came off of my old boat trailer. When I bought this boat, it came with a dilapidated trailer. This is my other boat project that is currently a mess. I got way too many projects going on, but I'm building out this boat for kokanee fishing. I'll show this off later at some other time, but these were on this 1.5 inch, I think 3/16 of an inch thick tubing was on my other trailer. And what they were these little upright kind of goalpost looking things that some people run on their boat trailers to help them get on their boat. But I took them off, and they were laying around in the garage, and I decided to repurpose one of them. I may repurpose this one at some point. That's probably going to fall over in any second, just like the pump did. The boat does come with a pump. I do feel like I should upgrade this sooner than later. I don't feel like this boat inflated as much as I would like it to. It felt like as I was pumping it, it got to a certain point and just kind of stopped inflating. And I think that's a pump issue and not a boat issue. This pump is very, I don't want to throw any shade at Saturn, but it's kind of feels a little dollar store-ish. But anyways, back to the frame. The frame is sort of better than expected for $300. Definitely it's got some made in China type vibes here. Just as far as the fabrication goes, you can tell that this is not one continuous piece. This was bent and then welded. It is, however, powder coated, and the powder coating feels really good. Like it's pretty strong. The frame is held together with pins. There's a little bit of play in here, but I don't think that is going to impact the performance. Obviously, 2 mounts for 2 seats that are on their way. Ordered them a couple days ago. Unfortunately, it didn't arrive at the same time as the boat. But the davit arm, super proud of. It came out really good. I attached it with these clamps. This is from a brand. Some of you might be familiar with this brand, Nylite. A lot of folks use Nylite on their boats, their trucks, ATVs, side by side, etc. But anyways, this is a clamp that you would attach to like a bull bar or a brush guard or whatever on your side by side, and then you can attach your light to it. But I did not use it for that purpose. I used it to attach to my round raft frame to then attach this square 1.5 inch tubing to with 3/8 bolts, all nylock bolts here. Could probably upgrade these to stainless, but they did not have stainless bolts in the size and length that I wanted at my local hardware store, which was a bummer, but I wanted to get this put together and just see if it was gonna work before I got too carried away here. So I already had a bunch of pulleys. I used to be an arborist and climb trees, so I had a ton of pulleys kicking around just from my time doing that. But I got a redirect pulley here to another redirect pulley here to the main pulley, and everything's bolted, clamped, etc. In a manner that allows this all to function with very little friction. There's pretty much, I mean, you might be getting a little bit of friction in here, but very, very, very minimal. Anyways, the clearance on the boat is really good. I think this clearance will also improve once I inflate the boat quite a bit more. This rope is super overkill. And this is also not the anchor I intend to run on this. This is just kind of for show and tell purposes for right now. Out here on the sort of line lock end, I have what's called a prusik or a friction hitch. A prusik is actually a type of friction hitch. And this specific friction hitch, I believe this is a distal or a Schwabisch. You can YouTube that. But anyways, like I said, I used to be an arborist. This was a knot we used when we were setting up haul systems and wanted like a progress capture to hold your rope. But anyway, this is what's holding my rope right now. This is what's holding that anchor up. And to release that, you just push that forward. You can finesse it. You can let it go slow like I am, or you can speed it up like that. And then what happens is when you pull on the business end, this prusik goes forward, it bumps into that pulley, it breaks that knot and allows that rope to slide through. You get a little bit of friction, but it's not terrible. I'm obviously trying to do this one-handed while holding a camera, so I'm only able to pull this about a foot at a time. But if you were sitting here and pulling on that, that'd obviously be a lot easier. But now the anchor is back up. I intend to swap this out with like a Lee lock system, something a little bit more official than relying on a prusik. The other thing with a prusik is you always have this setback here. See how there's about, I don't know, 5 inches there where you have to essentially pull up that little bit before it breaks that knot. And then when you are when it re-engages, it's always going to drop an extra couple inches or so, because it's got to take up this slack here before it re-engages. So obviously not the most perfect or ideal situation, but it works, and it's something I already had kicking around in the garage. But yeah, I intend to swap this out with the Lee lock, but between oars and oar locks and seats and frame and all the whole kit and caboodle, and trying to keep this thing on a budget, I'm just using what I have for now, just to get this davit arm built and kind of tweaked and tested. And yeah, I'm super proud of how it turned out so far. But anyway, peace.